Right, so we've been given a question here. We've been given a demand function and a supply function. Okay, so this demand function and supply function are for potatoes. Okay, the P is the average wholesale price of the potatoes. So when you see P in the function, it just represents the price of the potatoes. PW is the average wholesale price of wheat. So where there's PW, it's the price of wheat. Y is the income, GNP in billions. Where there is a Y, it represents income. PL is the average price of unskilled labor. So this PL here, price of unskilled labor. And R is the average annual rainfall in inches. Both QD and QS are in millions of medas of potatoes. Okay. So before we go to answering the questions, I just need to illustrate how we can interpret these functions. All right. QD represents the quantity demanded of the potatoes. All right. And it's dependent on three factors: the price of the potatoes, the price of wheat, and the income. Okay. These three variables, P, PW, and Y, they're the independent variables. Okay. They're independent. And QD is the dependent variable. It means quantity demanded is dependent on these three variables. These three variables have an effect on quantity demanded. Okay. This negative 1,450, it just means when the price of potatoes is zero, the price of wheat is zero, and the income is zero, then the quantity demanded of potatoes will be negative 1,450. Okay. So here basically, if you want to see the relationship between the quantity demanded, yes, the relationship between the quantity demanded of potatoes and the price of potatoes, ceteris paribus, meaning PW and Y, we hold them constant. Ehen. Because of this minus sign here, this negative 25 here, this negative sign here, it tells us there is a negative relationship between the price of potatoes and the quantity demanded of potatoes. Meaning, if the price of potatoes goes up, quantity demanded of potato goes down. If you look at the relationship of the quantity demanded of potatoes and the price of wheat, okay, holding other factors constant, so P and Y, hold them constant. Since there's a plus sign here before this 12.5, there's a plus sign here. Because of this plus sign, there is a positive relationship between the price of wheat and the quantity demanded of potatoes. Meaning, if the price of wheat goes up, quantity demanded of potatoes goes up. If the price of wheat goes down, quantity demanded of potatoes goes down. Okay. Then when we analyze the relationship between the quantity demanded of potatoes and income, holding other factors constant, holding P and PW constant, this plus sign tells us there's a positive relationship between the income and the quantity demanded of the potatoes. If the income goes up, quantity demanded will go up. If income goes down, quantity demanded is going to go down. Okay, and we can do the same with the supply function. Okay, if you look at the relationship between the quantity supplied of potatoes and the price of potatoes, there's a positive relationship because of this positive sign here. There's a positive relationship if you hold other factors constant. If the price of potatoes goes up, quantity supplied goes up. Law of supply. Remember, Suppliers, if the price of the good they're selling goes up, they want to supply more so that they can earn more revenue and profit. If you look at the relationship between the quantity supplied of the potatoes and the price of wheat, okay, we can see there is a negative relationship here, meaning the price of wheat goes up. Okay, farmers are going to stop growing potatoes and start growing wheat. So quantity supplied of potatoes will go down because the price of wheat has gone up. If the price of wheat goes down, quantity supplied of potatoes is going to go up. All right. So that's just an illustration of how to interpret these kind of functions. Okay. When you hear the word demand function, it just shows the relationship between quantity demanded and the variables that can affect quantity demanded. Supply function relationship between quantity supplied and the variables that can affect quantity supplied. So the question asks here, when the quantity is expressed as a function of price, determine the demand for and supply of potatoes if PW equals 4 kwacha, Y equals 7,500 billion, PL equals 8, IRA equals 20 inches. So here, it's just a matter of substitution, okay? PW equals 4, it means you substitute here in the demand function. Substitute P with um oh, PW is 4 here, sorry, not P. PW substitute it with 4. Then Y equals 7,500. So we substitute Y with 7,500. 12.5 times 4, that is going to be 50. Okay. 0.2 times 7,500, you get 1,500. So I just grouped like terms together. Negative 1,450 plus 50 plus 1,500 minus 25p. Our demand function simplifies to this. QD equals 100 minus 25p. Simple demand function. Any question? Okay, that's good that there are no questions. Okay, then in the quantity supplied function, okay, PW again is 4. So here, 4. PL is 12.5, is 8. So here, PL's R equals 10, 20, I mean. So he, okay, supply function is this one here. So PW here, you substitute it with 4. PL here, 8. R 20. Okay. Then negative 25 times 4, negative 100. Negative 12.58 times 8, negative 100. 10 times 20, 200. Grouping like terms together, negative 100, minus 100, negative 200, minus 100, negative 300, plus 200, that gives us negative 100 plus 75p. This is our supply. Okay, that is the supply function. Okay. Yes. So, part 2 says calculate the surplus or shortage of potatoes when P equals 1.5, P equals 2 kwacha, and P equals 2.5 kwacha. Okay. So remember, when quantity demanded exceeds quantity supplied, you have a shortage. When quantity demanded is less than quantity supplied, you have a surplus. So if quantity supplied is greater than quantity demanded, you have a surplus. So here, the thing is this: it just means these prices you'll be substituting into the supply and demand function. Okay, these simplified, these two simplified functions here. Okay, the question never asks to find the equilibrium price and quantity, but if in case it asks to find that, I'll come to this illustration to help out find the equilibrium price and quantity. Okay, so we start with P equals 1.5 kwacha. Substitute it into the demand function. 100 minus 25p. 100 minus 25. Substitute p with 1.5. When you, let's see, 100 times, 25 times 1.5, 37.5. 100 minus 37.5, 62.5. Quantity supplied, you've got negative 100 plus 75p. So we're going to say negative 100 plus 25 times 1.5. 75 times 1.5, that is 112.5. 100 and negative 100 plus 112.5, you get 12.5 here. So the quantity demand is 62.5. Since they told us these are in millions, so let's see, they told us in millions of what? Millions of medas. So quantity demanded is 62.5 million medas. Quantity supplied is 12.5 million medas. So here we have a shortage because quantity demanded exceeds quantity supplied. So we have a shortage. Okay. When price equals 2 kwacha, I don't know why I skipped here. Yeah, when price equals 2 kwacha, quantity demanded 100. I believe this was where the equilibrium price was. 25 times P. Okay. 25 times 2, that is 50. 100 minus 50, that is 50. Quantity supplied, negative 100 plus 75 times 2. 75 times 2, that is 150. Negative 100 plus 150, that is 50. So when the price is 2 kwacha, quantity demanded equals quantity supplied. Okay, this is a equilibrium. Okay, equilibrium. When quantity demanded equals quantity supplied. So this point of equilibrium. Right. So this is basically the price that should be sold at so that everyone in the market is happy and there are no shortages or surpluses. Okay. Then when price equals 2.5 kwacha, 100 minus 25 times 2.5. 25 times 2.5, what's that? 62.5. So 100 minus 62.5, that is 37.5. Cool. So as you can see, as the price keeps on increasing from 1.5 to 2.5, notice quantity demanded is dropping. And at the same time, quantity supplied is increasing. Okay. When price equals 2.5 kwacha, you find that quantity supplied, you say negative 100 plus 75 times 2.5. Then 5 times 2.5, that is 187.5. Negative 100 plus 187.5, you get 87.5. Meaning you have supply exceeds demand. So here we have a surplus. Okay. Yes, there is a surplus there. And you can show this graphically. So here, this is the demand function, supply, equilibrium price, 2 kwacha. Okay. Oh, equilibrium quantity when we solved for here, equilibrium quantity is 50 kwacha. Oh, here's the equilibrium quantity, 50 million. So when price is 1.5 kwacha, you can see here, quantity demanded exceeds quantity supplied. And when price equals 2.5 kwacha, quantity supplied greater than quantity demanded.